I'm Lara from 5 out of 4 Patterns, and welcome to the Meg Dress Sew Along and Tutorial Part 4, sponsored by Sly Fox Fabrics. Today we have one thing, one goal to accomplish, and that is to attach our zipper. Let's jump right in and get it done. Let's get this zipper thing rolling. The first thing we're going to do is press the seam allowance of the lining on our bodice 3/8 inch toward the wrong side, along the back opening and around the waist. We're going to pull our lining up out of the way, and we're going to match the right sides of the bodice and skirt together along the entire length of the opening, of the back opening. Now you could see pictures of this in the tutorial, which will be super helpful if you just need to get a nice close-up of things. So now we're going to base that with a long stretch stitch and press the seam allowance open. Now if you did the optional kick pleat, stop basting at the point that you have already sewn the kick pleat. Now we're going to take our zipper and we're going to put Wash Away Wonder Tape along both edges, So place the zipper face down against the seam allowance, making sure that the top of the zipper tape is folded back and that the top of the actual zipper is very close to the seam allowance between the bodice and lining at the neck. And you're going to pin your zipper in place. Now take your time here if you've never done this, and make sure that you're just being very meticulous about this process. This is not a process to be hurried. And you can get close-up pictures in the tutorial that can be even more helpful in addition to watching me put it together. It's time to sew now that we've got our presser foot in place. On the right side of the dress, we're going to start sewing at the bottom of the zipper at the center back seam. We're going to sew out to just past the stop and then up to the neckline using a straight stitch. We're going to repeat that on the other side of the zipper. So now that we've gone up both sides, we're going to go back to our skirt and re-sew the center back seam using a stretch stitch and getting as close to that zipper stop, the bottom of the zipper, as we can without causing a pucker. So now we're going to remove our basting stitch. Before we get started, we need some supplies. We need our fabric, we need our zipper, and we need two 1 inch by the length of the zipper pieces of lightweight fusible interfacing. This is important. It just is going to keep our fabric kind of in place, and it firms it up a little bit so it doesn't want to scoot all over the place as we're sewing. So the first thing we're going to do is attach our interfacing to the wrong sides of our panels here, which would be like your bodice, wherever your zipper goes, the two pieces that go together for a zipper that is in a seam. So that could be pants, skirt, top, the back of a top. The Meg Dress by 5 out of 4 Patterns, it has a zipper down the back. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Follow the instructions as far as what it tells you to do, how much, the length, measurements of your interfacing, what type of interfacing to use. All right, so we have that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place these two pieces of fabric right sides together. Okay, now I'm going to head to my sewing machine. I'm going to lengthen my stitch to about a 4 or 5, it's up to you, because this stitch will eventually come out because it will be the zipper opening. So I'm going to stitch all the way down this back seam, or this seam, I guess I should say, of our garment, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm going to press this seam open. Okay, so this is the point where I bring out my Wash Away Wonder tape. Now, something to remember is if your garment that you're making, say for example you're making the Meg dress from 5 out of 4, and you're installing the zipper, it goes from the top of the back bodice to down past the waistline and into the skirt. It's a long zipper, okay? But the top of it, the neckline here, is finished, or it's lined, excuse me. So you're not going to put your zipper all the way up to the top, because you don't want this zipper edge to show, because it's going to be already finished, like it's going to look similar to that when it's lined. So if you put that in there like this and open this up, you're going to have a big gap here. It's not like that for every pattern, but for a line, something that's already lined, you're going to do this a little bit differently. So you're going to place some Wonder Tape on the back here, and you're going to fold it. That's what the tutorial for the Meg dress does this. And you're going to fold it and kind of keep that in place, so that when, let's pretend this is the lining, so that when you attach it, it would go right side down. It goes like this, and so it can come, that zipper pull comes right to the top of that neckline, or it could be a skirt even. So you could do that as well. Just follow the instructions of what you're making, basically is what I'm saying. So for this, we're going to grab our Wash Away Wonder Tape, and I'm going to place the Wash Away Wonder Tape on either side of the zipper, pressing it down as I go so it stays stuck. All right, now we're going to place our zipper face down. So that's right side of the zipper, which is this side with the pull, down to the wrong side of our seam here, of our back bodice. Now, excuse me, we're going to center the zipper, the very center line of the zipper, we're going to center it with this seam that we just sewed up here. So I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm going to do my best to center it. Lift it up. This gives you a better ability to see where that seam is. And as you go, press it down. So I'm going to press this down. All right. So you can reinforce this with pins if you'd like. I'm not going to do that because the Wonder Tape holds pretty well for me. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go to our sewing machine, and we are going to change out our regular presser foot with our zipper foot. That's the first thing we're going to do. Then we are going to make sure we have just our standard stitch length. We'll be fine with that for now. Now, we're going to start stitching at the bottom here. There are different ways to do this. This has been my most successful way with knit fabric, but you could certainly start at the top and come around and go back up. But that's not the way I'm doing it, because with the knit kind of wants to move sometimes, and having the stitch across the bottom for some reason is helpful to me. So I'm starting at the bottom and I'm stitching across just below that zipper stop here, this zipper stop. So you don't want to sew through that, you will break your needle. So just below that, you're going to stitch across, and then you're going to stitch up until about a couple inches from the zipper pull itself, and you're going to back stitch. Okay, then you're going to come back down to the bottom, and you're going to stitch all the way up here to a couple inches from the zipper pull. There is a reason for this, there's a rhyme and a reason for stopping where we're stopping. So let's go to the sewing machine and let's do that. Okay, so here we are. We have sewn at the bottom on the way up, and then again on the other side. So it looks nice and clean. You can see it from this side as well. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our handy dandy seam ripper, and we are going to seam rip this center seam just past, well, just down a few inches. This gives us the ability to unzip the zipper to get around this zipper pull. So you're going to want to take the seam out past what we've already stitched here, so like down here, so that you can bring that zipper pull down away from where we actually need to be stitching. Okay, and try not to undo your Wonder Tape here, but be careful, you don't want to cut into your fabric. I have done this, and it's no fun having to fix that. Okay. All right, so you can see we've got our zipper pull, or our seam, I don't know. Yeah, our seam undone here. Okay, so now, holding your fabric down, we're going to unzip it as far as we can go, which is right here. Now we can go back to our machine, pressing that down a little bit more. We can go back to our machine and we can stitch from here all the way up without this pull impeding us. And that's important to get that nice, clean, straight stitch. Okay, so here we are. We have finished our zipper there. Now I just need to trim some threads. Okay, and you can see on the other side that we are now stitched all the way up from the bottom to the top. Okay, so So the next thing we're going to do is get out our handy dandy seam ripper again, and we are going to take out all of these stitches. Making sure to be very careful that we do not cut through our fabric, which is very easy to do if we're not careful. Okay, so you'll just fold your zipper in on itself there a little bit. That gives you the ability to reach in and grab these extra threads. All right, so this is the standard way to install a zipper. It's kind of hidden, but you know, not really. And it looks like this unzipped. Okay, I'm gonna zip it back up there. If this was your first time attaching a zipper, congratulations, you did it, and you can feel super accomplished that you've done it. The more you attach zippers and sew zippers on of all kinds, the better you get. And I will see you tomorrow for part 5 of our Meg Dress Sew Along tutorial.